Hello everybody, it's Bleakborn, and today I am going to show off some of my bonsais. I've had some rough weather the last couple months, so this guy in particular has taken a full batch of hate from animals and wind and weather, so it's not doing so good. But the other ones are doing okay. I just moved them to this new location in my yard. I recently bought this house, so it's hard to know exactly what's a good spot yet, but I'm gonna do some trimming on trying to get off some of that dead stuff on that cedar there, and maybe do a little bit of work on that jack pine. But yeah, stay tuned. So like I was saying before, this tree has had some rough times. During the spring winterish time, we had a lot of really windy, really windy, 50-60 mile an hour windy days. While I had went to work, it was nice, and by the time I got home, this thing had been thrown out of its pot. This happened a couple times. I kept moving them into more secure areas, but one after another, it kept getting pulled out of the pot, so I haven't been able to do much. I've just been trying to let it recover. But it's finally it's getting some dead here and there. I'm gonna trim those off, and then I'm gonna take a look at it. Beyond that, I've had a deer pull it out of the pot, which was kind of horrifying to see that it had been munched on a little bit, but it didn't touch the other one, so I was grateful. But I did lose a couple bonsais in that weather, and I've officially moved them to a more secure area, so it doesn't happen again. So I'm gonna start trimming on this guy, and I'm gonna do it from my point of view so you guys can kind of see how it looks. So this is the front of the tree. As you can see, there's a little bit of grass clippings here and there, and the moss, but it's a pretty firm in there now. It's definitely got a pretty thick spot there. So first thing I'm gonna do is trim off the dead, pretty much right here on the back. And I never really liked this branch anyways, so I'm gonna take it right off down to the bottom. There. And I'm thinking this one here's probably gotta go. Kind of gives it a little more freedom. And there's a lot in the middle, so I don't mind taking a couple of these guys out. With this dead one there. And you could leave some of the dead ones, but I feel like this is a good time as any to do some reshaping on this back of this tree. And I really don't like these long, scraggly ones, so I'm gonna cut those off. Same thing with this one. There's not much on there. And I'll go in with another tool to kind of get these nice and close so they can heal over. I just don't have that right with me right now. I'll get these closer. And like I said before, I'm no expert at this. I'm just kind of learning on as I go, kind of seeing how things turn out. I like that knob, but this branch is gonna go right here. And of course it's another dead one, so I liked this one, but I guess it's gotta go too. Center that back on the camera so you guys can see. So I've kind of taken off a couple here on the back. I'm gonna take this knob off because it doesn't really look good without any branches on it. And then just trim off some of the little inside ones. It really kind of needed a good cleanup anyways, so this one's just kind of out there. And then there's some more dead ones up in here that I'm gonna pull. And if you have any ideas to help put it back on its feet a little better, I am all ears. I was really sad to see this one, since it was my first collected one, to see it take so much damage from the little bit of weather that I had it out in. Well, let's cut that off right in there. Okay, I can see that it's a couple different branches in here. I almost want to take this guy out to kind of free up the middle. I mean, it's a wild looking guy, but it doesn't look like a tree with all these little weird branches in there. So I'm probably not going to take off too much more in the back of stuff that isn't dead. Take this guy off. That's kind of got a cool little effect here. I'll just cut off the dead tip here. And I don't want to do too much work to it because it's still early in June. It needs a little more time to grow, and I'm just gonna trim off a couple of these dead ones, sunburnt ones. Yeah, it's had some rough time. Let's kind of clean out that area. Look how thick that is. Let's get closer to the camera. Look how wildly thick that end is. So I'm going to thin that out eventually, but I'm not going to do that today. Use all the green it can get. And there's a couple more here on the front. I think I'm going to take that whole branch off all the way back. You guys can see. Sorry, I'm not used to filming and cutting at the same time, so yeah, maybe that branch has got to go eventually too. Kind of crazy looking there. Crazy kind of feel to this tree. There we go. This one's probably gonna get snipped off down here as well. There you guys go. I did trim quite a bit off of this, but I'm gonna let it sit and rest now and go let it start growing again. But I'll do a little quick 360. This one's gonna take some time to either get back on its feet and to kind of become a cool bonsai someday. But I've only had it for a couple months actually, actually almost 6 months, but I know enough that it'll live, and it needs a little more time, and I'll keep you guys in touch with what I do with these bonsais over the course of the summer, but I'm not going to let this guy do any more. He's just going to get able to bunch up and grow now that he doesn't have all this dead weight hanging on him. I better take that branch off. Right there's dead as well. There we go. And then I'll go in and maybe clean these up, maybe not. I haven't decided yet. I kind of do like the bumpy look. But that's just me being a fantasy D&D player, likes the really gnarled trees, the really ancient looking trees that have been through a lot, which this tree has been through a lot. It was in a ditch and got weed whacked every summer. So it's happy probably to be moved out of there, but I always kind of seem to push it out of your guys' view. Sorry about that. If you've stayed this long. Yeah, I'm just starting the hobby myself. I've been doing a couple indoor ones, just because it's a little easier to keep track of them, and I don't have to worry about wind. It's been the biggest one. Windy, and where I'm at. But there you guys go. This might go someday, but right now, I don't mind it. And it's kind of a weird witch-like tree, and hopefully I get some back growth in here, so that way I can I would love to move this branch up and out, but it's so old and thick in there, and it's been cut like a bunch of times that I don't want to force it if not. kind of like the more like this is how the tree's gonna grow kind of look, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. I don't really like to wire yet, so there you guys go. There is the second video for the cedar. I have cut off a lot. There's a little bit of green, but most of it is dead and yellow. Look at that wild. I should almost plant that to see how that grows. I'm just gonna see. I'm gonna put it right in the edge of that pot. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, there you guys go. This is the first trimming of the cedar tree since I had gotten it. So thank you guys for watching. I'll do more bonsai updates. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you have any ideas to help it bounce back from all the damage it's taken, besides, I'm probably not going to trim it for the rest of the year after that because it's going to need all the green it can get. And yeah, thank you guys very much, and we'll see you guys next time.